بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين صلى الله عليك يا مولاي يا رسول الله صلى الله عليك وعلى آل بيتك الطاهرين ما خاب من تمسك بكم أمنا من لجأ إلى حصنكم سادتي يا ليتنا كنا معكم فنفوز فوزا عظيما. ورد عن سيدي ومولاي رسول الله محمد صلى الله عليه وآله أنه قال: الحسن والحسين إمامان قاما أو قعدا. صدق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. Enlighten your Majlis and bless this gathering with 3 loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Yesterday we spoke about the biography of Imam Al-Hasan Al-Mushtaba alayhi afdal salati was salam before his Imam. Today we will focus our talk, as promised yesterday, on his biography post-Imam. And we said that this is mainly because we find that the reality of the situation is that Imam Al-Hasan Al-Mushtaba is truly oppressed when it comes to history, and many do not know the important milestones of his life. We don't know the important aspects of his life, and especially when it comes to his Imamah and some of the decisions that were taken, many do not know why he took certain decisions or why certain political issues potentially were the best option or not potentially, when taken by the Imam of the time, it was the best option possible for that specific time. And inshallah we will aim to look more into this. We'll continue his biography. Yesterday we finished off at the Battle of Siffin and Nahrawan. We will continue from there inshallah until his martyrdom, and we shall do that with your permission and with the blessings of 3 very loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Towards or during the caliphate of Amir al-Mu'mineen salawatullahi alayh, an important aspect of the life of Imam al-Hasan al-Mushtaba took place, and that was his marriage to that lady by the name of Ju'da, the daughter of al-Ash'ath, the son of Qais. This marriage took place during the caliphate of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi afdal salati was salam. Potentially, historically speaking, this seems to have happened between Jamal and between Siffin. During this time is when this marriage took place. So the first question that is asked is, why did Imam al-Hasan marry a lady that ended up poisoning him, as many of you know? And the situation is that, number one, this marriage was a marriage that was done by Amir al-Mu'mineen. Amir al-Mu'mineen was present there. So then you might ask me, okay, hold on a second, Amir al-Mu'mineen knows. He knows of certain issues. He knew that this would be the lady that would poison him. Why? Because on his deathbed, and the nights of Amir al-Mu'mineen are coming inshallah, on his deathbed he mentioned that, oh Hasan, you will be poisoned. And he informed him of his poisoning and of what he will go through. So Amir al-Mu'mineen knew. So again, why? And the reality of the situation is, when you look back at history, you will find actually Al-Ash'ath, who is the father of this lady, although later went against Amir al-Mu'mineen, during that time he was part of the army of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam. In fact, he was part of the army of Amir al-Mu'mineen that fought in Jamal against Talha and Zubair and that lady. Al-Ash'ath was on Amir al-Mu'mineen's side during that time. And he came forward to Amir al-Mu'mineen and he asked him for Ju'da to marry his daughter Al-Hasan alayhi afdalu salati wassalam. And yes, at times the Imams and the Prophets need to move forward with what is necessary and what is required in their community. A person is at this moment of time of his companions. Yes, maybe after someone would go against the Imam of their time, etc. That's a different story. And we have this example mentioned in the Quran that Allah draws for you an example. For who? For the people that disbelieved. وَضَرَبَ اللَّهُ مَثَلًا لِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. For those that disbelieved. The wife of Nuh and the wife of Lut, they were under obedient servants of ours, so they betrayed them. And the Quran uses the word khiyana, فَخَانَتَاهُمَا. So they betrayed them. As a betrayal, in what sense that comes, that's a different discussion. However, what I want to show you is that historically, Nuh and Lut would also know peace and blessings be upon them and upon our beloved messenger and his holy progeny. They would also know, however, they need to move forward with how their time is. Likewise with Imam al-Hasan al-Mushtaba, this was the exact same case. Therefore, he married that lady by the name of Ju'da. A few years would pass. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
A few years would pass, and the martyrdom of Amir al-Mu'mineen would take place. The 21st of the month of Ramadan, at the time of Fajr, is when Amir al-Mu'mineen was struck. Imam al-Hasan al-Mushtaba led the Fajr prayers straight after that, and he would then soon take his father. So this is on the 19th. He would soon take his father, 19th of Shahr Ramadan is when at Fajr time he would lead the prayer. He would take his father back to his home, and upon the martyrdom of Amir al-Mu'mineen on the 21st, Amir al-Mu'mineen asked Imam al-Hasan, he said to him, "Oh Hasan, if I was to die, then I want you to wash me and shroud me and carry my bed from the back and follow those that carry it from the front." So they would do such a thing, and our narrations mentioned that the angels were the ones that carried it from the front until they reached the location of the grave of Amir al-Mu'mineen today in Najaf. He said, "Then place me down, remove the sand that is under my bed, pray on me and perform 7 takbirat, and know that this is only allowed for me and for an Imam that will come at the end of time by the name of Al-Qa'im al-Mahdi. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad."
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
He said, "Then move the sand and you will find that there is a grave prepared for me." And truly, this is what had happened. And he would bury Amir al-Mu'mineen in a grave that was prepared for him. Our narrations say that this grave was prepared for him by Nabi Allah Nuh alayhi wa ala nabina wa alihi afdalu salati wassalam, which is why in the ziyarah you would, in some of the ziyarat you would read that Assalamu alayka ya Amir al-Mu'mineen wa ala raji'ayka Adama wa Nuh wa ala jarayka Hudin wa Salih. Hud and Salih are a bit further away. If you go to what they call the Tusi Street, Shara al-Tusi, you will go to the end of it, you will see a little gate, that is where the graveyard is. On the right side you will see the graves of Nabi Allah Hud and Nabi Allah Salih. And next to Amir al-Mu'mineen is buried Nabi Allah Adam and Nabi Allah Nuh alayhim wa ala nabiyina wa alihi afdalu salati wassalam. So, Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam would bury him, he would go back to Kufa. When he goes back to Kufa, the first thing that he does is that he gives a sermon to the people. The sermon included the fada'il of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi afdalu salati wassalam, to remind them of who he was. At this specific point, the people now want to give bay'ah to Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba. Of the people that helped with this was a man by the name of Ubaydullah ibn al-Abbas. He called for the bay'ah of Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba. And there were other individuals who would constantly call for his bay'ah. But at the same time, you had individuals who came forward and said, "Oh Hasan, we will give allegiance to you based on 3 conditions." What are the 3 conditions? Kitab, no problem. Sunnah, no problem. And for you to fight whoever fights the Muslims. He said, Kitab and Sunnah, yes, that's fine. The third, it falls under Kitab and Sunnah. So what are you trying to do? The reason being is because people were in a state, or they already had the mindset of war. Why? The people of Iraq and the people of Yemen, they gave bay'ah to Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam. The people of Sham, they gave allegiance to Muawiyah at that time. And in that specific instance, the people of Sham, or rather Muawiyah himself, was waiting for this time that Amir al-Mu'mineen goes and he takes complete control. So this was a chance for him. These people are hearing threats. They are saying we need to fight, because just like your father fought 3 wars, we also want to fight wars with you. When he said no, they went to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. And this is very important for us to know. Many do not know this about our history. They went to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. They said, we want to pay you allegiance. Hey, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam had the most powerful of stances. He said, you want to pay me allegiance while my brother Hasan is still alive? For surely he is the Imam of your time. So they went back to Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba and they paid allegiance. He remained in his caliphate for 1 year. I'm very wary of time because I got told off yesterday. He remained in that caliphate for 1 year. Or some narrations say 8 months. So between 8 months and maximum 1 year. During this time, Muawiyah sent armies to fight Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba alayhi afdalu salatu wassalam. The first army went in one direction and Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba went in the second direction. Meaning, it wasn't the fact that Imam al-Hasan wanted to attack from multiple aspects. Because Imam al-Hasan wasn't the one who's doing the attacks. The attacks happened in the land of Iraq today, not in the land of Sham. Meaning it was Muawiyah that sent multiple armies on multiple fronts. So Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba had to defend from multiple aspects. Or from multiple sides rather. One by the leadership of Ubaydullah ibn al-Abbas, and the other by the leadership of Imam al-Hasan alayhi afdalu salatu wassalam himself. Ubaydullah ibn al-Abbas, he was quick to forfeit, although the first battle that took place, the army of Imam al-Hasan won it, and the second battle that took place, the army of Imam al-Hasan also won it. However, then the propaganda machine started. That, by the way, did you know, Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba, he is going to sign a peace treaty with me. Muawiyah is telling the people. So he goes to Ubaydullah ibn Abbas, he says, look, the peace treaty is going to happen. You want it? Come to me, I'll give you 100,000 dirham and you stay on my side. Ubaydullah ibn Abbas said that, you know, peace treaty is happening anyway, I might as well. Take the money and he went. After that, Imam al-Hasan put another individual in charge of the army, of his army in that specific area, by the name of Al-Qais bin Sa'd bin Junadah al-Khazraji. This individual, or Ibn Awada Ahsantum, he put him as the second person in charge. He was also offered money. However, he said, do you know what? I am going to stay with Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba, and he did not accept this money that was offered to him, and he stayed in his position. From the other aspect, there was a rumor that was going around that, by the way, Al-Hasan ibn Ali is going to come on our side now, and he is going to sign a peace treaty and everything will be safe. So the people that were with Imam al-Hasan, suddenly they started turning against him. How can you do such a thing? Hold on a second, when you gave him allegiance, you gave him allegiance on the sake of Imam, no? Why are you suddenly going against him, even if he chose peace treaty to be the case? Or he would know best, you just gave him bay'ah. So a person comes from the Khawarij and he says, you have disbelieved in Allah just like your father disbelieved in Allah. Another person comes and stabs Imam al-Hasan in his thigh, and this is the situation that Imam al-Hasan stayed in. After all of these issues, Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam decided that the peace treaty is the best option. However, how did the peace treaty happen? Number one, it was first offered by Muawiyah, not by Imam al-Hasan. And this peace treaty was rejected by Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba. Why? Because when he put forward a peace treaty, if Imam al-Hasan was to accept it, it means that I now recognize you as my equal. You have your leadership and I have my leadership. And Imam al-Hasan is never the equal of Muawiyah. That is one. Two, it was then given to him, to Muawiyah, by Imam al-Hasan on a separate occasion with separate conditions. To say, you take all of it, you take everything you need to take, and for me, I will go back to Medina, but on certain conditions. Number one, don't harm the Shias, don't harm the Muslims. If you were to die, then I will go back to my caliphate. If I was not to be around, then my brother Hussein will take over caliphate. It was based on these conditions that he then set it forward. Now a person will come to me and say, Ya Ibrahim, no problem, Ashtidak, now we understand what happened. However, in one occasion, he would have kept Kufa, but in this occasion, he lost everything. Muawiyah to complete caliphate. I tell you now. This was the smart political nature of Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba. Why? Because in this specific instance, he allowed Muawiyah to accept this peace treaty while he went back to teaching in Medina, and the political status of the sons of Umayyah became something very dangerous for them. Why? Sham was under his control, it was under his wing. He had controlled everyone to the extent where Amir al-Mu'mineen gets killed in prayer. The news reaches Sham and people are asking what Imam Ali used to pray. Now you imagine what kind of control he had of that place. Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba said, you want to stay in Sham and you want to leave these people here so that there's no interaction, you continue to control them? That's not going to happen. You have everything. He opened up Kufa to Sham, which wasn't opened before. And hence people started realizing who Amir al-Mu'mineen truly was. This is one aspect. The second aspect of the smart political nature of Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba is that Kufa itself was already split into groups. During the time of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Kufa was split into 4 groups. Kufa was split into 4 groups. When Muawiyah took over, he split it into 7. One of the 4 groups were the Shia, and he splitted one of those groups that were the Shia amongst the other 7 in order to disperse the Shias between them. So, when Kufa has 4 groups, and of them you've got the Khawarij, and you've got the Uthmanis, and you've got the Shia, there was an issue already going on in that area. Meaning, Imam al-Hasan stays in that area that is full of bloodshed and people are ready to fight, while Muawiyah stays relaxed in Sham. That is something he was never going to accept. So, and to prove it to you, as soon as Imam al-Hasan returned to Medina, so that you realize this is not just a theory. No, I'm going to prove it to you. As soon as he went back to Medina, the Khawarij rose up against Muawiyah. Muawiyah wrote a letter to Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam. He said, you come back and fight them. He said, you are more worthy of me fighting. It's you who I should be fighting first. And he said, no, for me, I'm going to stay in Medina. And hence, when you understand this aspect, he stayed in Medina. He would stay in Medina. When I go to the Arabic side of things, I will also talk about this, but I will focus on it from a different aspect, inshallah. So that, because I realize some speak both languages. So the English I'm going to talk in one aspect, and the Arabic I'll talk about the same issue, but from a different lens and a different angle, inshallah, so that everyone can get some benefit. So, he went back to Medina, he continued to teach. The narrations say that he used to go to the masjid of Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. He would go to the masjid of Rasulullah and he would pray the Salat of Fajr. He would stay performing his ta'qibat until the sun would rise. and then people would come and he would have a lesson for the people of Medina. Then he would return home and he would repeat the same thing at night, except that instead of a lesson, he used to hold what we call today a Q&A, a question and answer session, where people used to come and ask him and he would inform them of what the ahkam is. And hence he was able to win the hearts of the people of Medina, and hence he was able to continue this divine message that he was appointed for, while the others thought they were victorious, and little did they realize that their caliphate became even weaker. And to prove it to you again, we speak everything we speak with proof. To prove it to you again, the reality is that the sons of Umayyah did not last for that long. Look at the Abbasid Caliphate and look at how long they lasted. Umayyah, the sons of Umayyah didn't last that long. Technically speaking, if we want to be extremely technical, from the sons of Umayyah, only 3 people were caliphs. The rest were from Bani Marwan. Technically speaking, only 3 of them. Whereas look at the Abbasid Caliphate and how long they lasted. And one of the main reasons why that is because of the peace treaty that Imam al-Hasan signed with Muawiyah. Understand this political lens that Imam al-Hasan Mujtaba had, and he stayed, as I said, in Medina until his wife was offered a certain amount of money, 100,000 dirham, as well as the marriage of Yazid to poison the Imam, and hence she accepted, and that is why our beloved Imam was poisoned and killed and martyred in the city of Medina, and he was buried today in the graveyard also known as Jannatul Baqi'. Now inshallah we will move to the Arabic aspect of things. For those of you who understand both languages, inshallah I will focus on a different lens in the Arabic inshallah. But for us to do that, please allow me and grant me permission with 3 loud salawat ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma